What is 10x scarier at night than day? Telephone calls. Telephone call at 3 p.m. you think, a telemarketer. Telephone call at 3 a.m. you're thinking, oh shit, someone died. Nothing good can come from a phone call after 9 p.m. Nothing good can come from a phone call. Imagine having a call at 3 a.m. and then you decided to ignore it. Few seconds later you hear someone knocking on your door, with each knocks getting louder over time, along with the telephone ring. Legit, I got a phone call on my landline years ago, at 3 a.m. It was my auntie, asking if my mom was awake. No, but I'll go get her. What is it? She suddenly broke down into tears and told me my cousin was just killed in an auto accident coming home from a party. Instant death, over just like that. He would be 35 on the 17th of May. Someone knocking on your door. That happened once and I literally almost had a stroke. I had someone show up at a window a few years back and I called the cops. They were gone, so I couldn't do anything about it. Happened at my parents' house. Some dude walked up to the door in their bedroom, it was boarded off also, and screamed about needing help. They called the police and he wasn't found. Even creeper is we lived in very rural Iowa. When I switched to night shift one of the first nights I was having dinner at like 4 a.m. Someone came up my walkway towards my door and I heard a thud. I grabbed my baseball bat and queued up 911 in my phone. It was the newspaper delivery man. He threw the paper against my door. Had two female police officers knock on my door at 4:45 one morning looking to arrest the previous owner. First look through the front window made my heart drop, thought it was going to be tragic news about a loved one. People screaming randomly. You don't get scared when that happens during the day? And I hear that every day since I live next to crackheads. I was going to say college town but then I realized these are synonymous. The kids in my neighborhood sound like they are being murdered when they play. Clothes piled up in the chair opposite to your bed. You get scared when that happens during the day? I once stared at a hanger for hat, don't know what it's called, for an hour thinking it was a man stalking me. Silly 8 years old. Embarrassing story time. When I was in elementary school I had a vertical fan at the end of my bed, and one night I went to sleep with my clothes basket still sitting on the bed. I don't know why, I just did. At like 3 in the morning I knocked it off in my sleep, and instead of knocking over the fan it scraped against the side, making a buzzing noise. So I woke up, terrified, to some crazy noise and not being able to see anyone. And for some reason the explanation my brain came up with was that there was a midget with a chainsaw hiding under my bed waiting to kill me. I laid petrified in my bed until it got light enough out for me to see the basket of clothes on the floor and piece together what had actually happened. I told my parents about it and still get made fun of for it almost 20 years later. Kids singing nursery rhymes. Your neighbor using a wood chipper. Neighbor digging in the backyard. Okay, so I actually did this. My pet died at about 9 p.m. and it was kinda dark. We borrowed a shovel from the neighbor and began digging a small grave in the side yard. There was a lady out walking her dog and she asked us what we were doing. Without hesitation we told her we were having a funeral. She said, oh okay, and kinda just dragged her little dog out of there. The unexpected sound of a long-forgotten, and presumed dead, Furby as it shrieks furbish from the bowels of your childhood closet. This happened to me. Creepy toy didn't have any batteries or anything, and all of a sudden, 2 a.m., I wake up and hear ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. I see you. Ha ha ha. My cat suddenly staring at the empty corner of my bedroom. Probably about a month before I moved out of my apartment in 2018 I was going to bed and my cat was at the foot of the bed. Usually she would leave the bed when I went to bed but that night she stayed there. I wasn't sleeping yet, just messing around on my phone when she went on high alert staring into the kitchen and living room. With the door to the bedroom and living room open it was a straight shot. She did it for so long that I got freaked out and turned on all the lights and investigated. Made sure all doors and windows were locked. I found nothing, but it was quite a while before she or I calmed down and slept. The next day I remembered that I had a camera set up in the living room, so I pulled it up just to see if I saw a ghost or something. I did not see a ghost. What I saw was something crawling on the cat's bed in the living room. It wasn't the best camera, so I couldn't tell what it was, just that it was something, but I was thinking a mouse. Several days passed and the cat didn't do the staring into the dark for 30 minutes thing again, and I didn't see anything, so I figured whatever it was gone. Ha ha ha, no. I walked into the bathroom a few nights later and turned on the light and saw the largest roach I have ever seen in my fucking life, and I'm from Florida. I think I blacked out, but I think I killed it. I had lived in that apartment for almost 8 years and had never seen a roach, and until I moved out a month or so later it was the only roach I saw. So it's not always ghosts. Sometimes it's a giant fucking roach. Swimming in the ocean. It's already trying to kill you, and now you want to swim in it in the dark? Damn, I swear, ocean in the dark is scary as fuck. Not that it loses that friendly-looking atmosphere, but also replaced with the ominous one instead. Also, nocturnal sea lives. Get swooped down in the dark and nobody ain't gonna found you for a long time. I remembered the story my colleague shared with us during our training years ago. He is one of the few who survived the AK tsunami. He drifted in the ocean for 9 days, dead bodies nearby, lots of debris. He used the debris to build himself a makeshift raft. He saw bodies being eaten by sharks and all manner of sea creatures, even children's. Nighttime was the scariest for him. You never know what lurks underneath you, plus with no moonlight, the fear level is up a few more notches. And to this very day, he is afraid of the dark, which is understandable. He kept his spirits high and survived on whatever he could eat and drink. He saw a ship past him, but they didn't see him. A few days went by, nothing. He almost gave up until a ship came and took him to safety. The moment his legs touched the ship's floor, he was totally spent and collapsed. He and his other sibling are the only members of his immediate family to have lived through the tsunami. His parents and 2 siblings perished during the tragedy. He could have avoided the whole ordeal, but on his way to run to the hills, he stopped by to bring his uncle along to run too, which slowed him down. His uncle didn't make it. On the flip side, he was offered full scholarship to further his studies, got a career at the same university, and he is now happily married too. His name is Risal Shaputra. There's a gap between the window and curtains, so you get shadows and lights from cars and people passing by, terrifying when at 3 a.m. you think someone's about to try climbing through your window. Every shadow becomes terrifying at night. Aha, that coat in the corner of your room starts to look like a serial killer. When the suicidal friend sends you a pretty lengthy message. It is scary during the day too, but waking up in the morning to read that literally destroys all your emotions and puts you in a panic-fueled scared state. Sadly so relatable. I woke up one morning to see my friend had sent really suicidal messages on our group chat, saying his phone password, to tell police to check notes, etc. He had been on the session. We all at this time were guilty of sending depressive messages. However, time kept passing without hearing from him, so we called his campus security for a welfare check. He had committed suicide, probably just after those messages. It's scary because without being there to talk them around, you feel so helpless in the morning waiting to find out what happened. Being lost in the woods. Shit, just the woods in general. My aunt's house has a big backyard surrounded by a bunch of woods. Never know if someone is lurking in those woods just watching you in the dark. Nah. Being a woman and having to walk somewhere alone. Well, as a man that scares me too. Yeah, I'm a big burly man, the kind of person people avoid in the night. And even I'm quite scared walking in certain streets and areas during the night. And I live in a boring and safe Finnish city. Closing your eyes in the shower. This reminds me of a funny story from my best friend. Their bathroom didn't have a window, and one time his mom went in for a shower. During the shower, while she was washing her hair and closed her eyes, the power went out. She opened them, but everything was pitch black. She panicked and thought she suddenly went blind. She ran out of the bathroom looking for help, totally wet and naked, screaming for help that she was blind until her kids yelled at her. Haha. What is 10x scarier at night than day? Leave a comment. And subscribe to this channel if you wanna see more same videos.